Welcome to this week's show. What is important this week is what has happened at the Senate. The revenue allocation impasse. For 5 times, Parliament has failed to enable or to pass the revenue allocation formula meant to send money to the counties. And when they did last night, what happened? The motion by the government was defeated. The third generation formula was shut down. And this shows a radical shift in Kenyan politics as was not expected. Finally, 25 senators said no, 22 said yes. From this outcome, from the Senate last night, what is clear is that the revenue allocation formula issue was very emotive, and the senators came out of their political blocks on this very emotive issue. Before this, we all remember Irungu Kang'ata, the senator for Murang'a and the chief whip of Jubilee in Senate, had threatened that there was no going to be BBI without the passage of the revenue formula. The larger Mount Kenya was fully in support of the formula, using what they call one man, one vote, one shilling. But that was not to be.
If for any reason that proposal will be defeated, then those of us who support His Excellency, we shall know there's no need for BBI. Because to us, the reason why we are supporting BBI as Mount Kenya leaders is because that BBI stands for one man, one shilling. And that is the whole concept underpinning the committee's proposal on how we should share the county revenue.
What does this mean now that the formula has been shut down? Does it mean then BBI is dead, as Senator Kang'ata had said, or the threat on BBI is real? Perhaps not, because the threat or the background maneuvers made Raila Odinga, the opposition leader, DP, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and even Kalonzo Musyoka to come out before that vote last night and give their views on the proposed formula. And what is curious is that Musalia Mudavadi actually never gave his position. Let's look at those who gave their positions. While Raila Odinga came out with a statement supporting the original formula, remember, the original formula was made by CRA, the Commission on Revenue Allocation in Kenya, because the body which is mandated to do that allocation to the counties. The Senate, Parliament has been giving or amending it according to what the senators thought will be the best way to have this run for 5 years, because this is the third generation. And as that happened, DP Ruto also, through a tweet, communicated and gave his view. Actually, his view was more balanced. It did not seem to support either way, while Raila Odinga supported the so-called original CRA formula. The DP was non-committal, and he said the impasse was unnecessary because service delivery was important. Many MPs from Mount Kenya jumped into the bandwagon. Even others from other areas, from the coast, on social media, they came out guns blazing, supporting or opposing. I remember very well, Moses Kuria, very vocal from Mount Kenya, from Kiambu County, Catherine Waruguru, Muhammad Ali, alias Jichopevu, also came out, and many others. Senator Susan Kihika, trying to explain the position of one man, one vote, one shilling, in support of their side of the political divide.
Raila is trying to play politics.
Correct.
He is trying to play safe.
Correct.
He knows he does not want his people to support the committee's report.
Correct.
And the best way for him now to come out, because he has seen that this has put a strain on his handshake and purported cooperation with the Jubilee Party. Yes. So he's now brought a strange formula that has not been brought to the floor of the House.
However, those senators who are supporting the formula argued about basically the population. The CRA formula, as was proposed, had many indicators. Of course, population was one of them. And the formula has been looked at various stages and to give weight to different indicators within the formula. And population is one of them. But most of the senators and most people, politicians from central Kenya, were supporting basically, and some of the friends from Rift Valley, basically because of population. And they did not want anything else to ride or to override the population issue. And so, those from the ASAL areas, from the sparsely populated counties, be it Kitui, Wajir, Mandera, and the rest, were against it because it was said that they will lose millions of shillings in the normal allocation from what they had had before. And so, finally, it was losing versus gaining. There are several issues which we learn, which we get from the division of the 316 billion in the counties. It is very clear that the emotions and exuberance in causing a standoff in the Senate was just about a paltry, actually 10% of the 3 trillion budget, which is the national budget. Out of this, about 7 to 9% will always be allocated to current expenditure in the counties. And then we remain with around 2.7 trillion with the national government. Shouldn't we be focusing on that? Who actually focuses on that? Do senators focus on that? Does the National Assembly focus on this? Because if we are focusing on the 316 billion, then the 2.7 trillion shillings, which remains our national government, should be our main focus. However, what is clear from this division of the Senate on the revenue allocation formula is that there are several issues which have come out because of this. One, unfortunately, for those who support the formula from the Mount Kenya and other regions, media had already framed this debate as one of the losers and the gainers on the other side. This framing of the losers and the winners brought back the discussion into our political discourse, okay, about the division of resources or resource allocation, which has been long standing in our history, in the history of Kenya. And now, the problem with this is that since the Mount Kenya politicians seemed to be the ones pushing on social media and elsewhere, politicking, the motion then became to be associated with a section of Mount Kenya. A few of them, that is what the other parts of the country looked at. Why are they, the Mount Kenya politicians, looking like they're hell-bent on pushing this to other Kenyans? And therefore, it put pressure, political pressure, on other senators, especially from the sparsely populated areas, to start thinking of what the political implications will be for them on the ground. Remember, elections are coming in the next 2 years. So it was important for them to do that. What's certain is that this framing did not help much, especially when it was all over the place, in the media, in social media, in everywhere else. Discourse was happening that it was Mount Kenya which was bulldozing other senators to support what would eventually benefit them or their areas at the expense of other regions. Those are the losers. Irungu Kang'ata's threat earlier on the issue further complicated the optics for him and Jubilee. Many ordinary Kenyans on social media and elsewhere started arguing against Mount Kenya bulldozing other counties. Yet, this could have just been centered on services and service delivery. Instead, the argument now was made so narrow, and it became them versus us. And there was no room for negotiation. If there was negotiation, I think all these things would have been diffused and everything would have worked. And this was again confirmed when Irungu Kang'ata, the chief whip himself, spoke after the formula was shut down in the media. And he said, and I quote, he said this: "We now know who supports and who doesn't support the 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote idea. Very soon, as a party, we shall crack the whip on those who are not in support of government business." This is very divisive. This was very divisive because senators higher in the rank as deputy majority whip in the Senate were in the opposing camp. Will he sack them? Will the government or Jubilee again reorganize itself in the Senate, in Parliament? That's a serious question. Number 2, this statement also coming from a government leader in Senate showed some weakness on lobbying, on consensus building, especially the ruling party had just changed leadership just the other day in the Senate, which led to Senator Pogisho being made majority leader and Irungu Kang'ata himself being made chief whip. What Senator Pogisho was doing traveling to Tanzania on the eve of the highly divisive vote, instead of staying around to lobby senator, to build consensus, to support a government agenda, is pure miscalculation. Strategy here was missed. And as a result of that fact, some senators who are thought to gain from the proposed formula, who everybody thought will gain from the proposed formula, voted against it. Look at Senator Malala. You know, he voted against it. Look at Senator Kabaka of Machakos. He voted against it. And other underlying issues could have been in play. Thirdly, while it is also clear that some senators are going to seek 4 gubernatorial positions in 2022, so none would sacrifice their selfish or community stance for the sake of party interest. So, for a moment, in this CRA formula, issues of the party were thrown through the window. And much worse, they are not logically persuaded about the party line. It is selfish interest first. So the party was thrown away momentarily while the vote was there. Senators, as has been seen before, would want to go and win. And we have experienced there are senators who are there in the parliament which passed. Now they are governors. These senators, and there are many, they are known to harbor those political ambitions. Number 4, the implosion in Jubilee was witnessed yesterday where Senator Kang'ata, as a Jubilee party whip, had his deferment motion defeated by key Jubilee senators. So what next for the president and the party during this delicate balancing act? What with elections in just 2 years? The ruling party seems to be headed or having a lot of political work to do to put its house together so that they can pass required legislation in parliament. Because the president has been talking about reorganizing his team and showing or ensuring his agenda is passed. How will he do that? When just one bill creates unnecessary fusion and his side loses? Is a serious question. Number 5, what is certain is that the revenue formula has brought to fore the divisions within the handshake and BBI. Senator Kang'ata had already indicated the discussions and divisions on the floor of the House showed clearly that there is division within or in respect to BBI and the handshake. Those suspicions still exist. There are deep suspicions brought about by politics of 2022 has just been manifested in the division of revenue impasse in the Senate. And most of these suspicions are surround Uhuru Kenyatta and his succession. They also are around opposition leader Raila Odinga and also Deputy President Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Could some senators and politicians have voted the way they did to make the Senate to fail to vote for one man and one vote so that this issue comes in the referendum? That's a big question. That is a big question, and we shall keep you posted here and in many other analyses, because politics of 2022 is surely unfolding, and it is unfolding faster in our eyes than we thought. Until next week, it's bye from here.